Hi, in this video we will shuffle arrays using JavaScript. This is a common task for many programs, but JavaScript does not have a built-in shuffle function. Doing a quick search reveals that the solution with the most likes is using the sort function with a random comparison function. It will look something like this. I will call this naive and just use the sort function. The compare function receives two variables a and b to compare, but we will not use them. Instead, we will rely on the math random function. When we run this code, we can see that it indeed produces shuffle results. However, running this code several times will inevitably show that the results are not as random as we naturally expect it to be. If you are familiar with comparison sort algorithms, you might have spotted the bug already. The comparison function cannot be just any function. It has to be a stable comparison, otherwise the sort will break. In this case, there will be no error on the console, as you can see. Instead, the bug will manifest as a lack of randomness. If we have to use the sort function, we could fix this by generating the random numbers up front and sort the items based on their random ordinals. Let's try to do this next. Let's use the built-in map method to add next to the value a random number. And also, to be able to follow the progress, I will print this to the console. As you can see, there's a random number. The next step is to sort based on this random number. So this is going to be a call to the sort function, which gets the two records. And now we can make the comparison based on the random number, which is index 1. And we do a proper comparison based on the subtraction. As you can see, the words are now ordered by their random ordinals. The last step is to project this back to the input array, which is going to be another map. And this time we will return the first element from the array. And as you can see, we get our shuffled array as a result. This seems like a lot of work, both for us and for the machine. And of course, there is a better way by rolling our own shuffle function that mimics the way we shuffle a deck of cards. This is also known as the Fisher-Yates algorithm. It goes like this. Take a random element from the array and put it into a new array. Repeat for all elements. Sounds easier than reasoning about the comparisons, right? The code is simple too. Let's write it. We will need a function, let's call this Fisher, which gets an array and returns that same array. It is going to be an in-place shuffle. We will split this array into two halves. The first half is the original, and the last half is going to be where the shuffled elements are. Let's go through the array starting at the end. So array.length is going to be the first element that we use. And we go until I is greater than 0. The next thing we need to do is generating a random index. We use math random for that, and since that is between 0 and 1, we need to multiply that with I plus 1, and of course project this back into an actual array index. We will use the floor function for this. And the only remaining step now is to swap the elements I and j. I will use an array destructuring for this. And now we are ready to take a look at our results. Let's run the Fisher function into our input array. And as you can see, it is nice and shuffled. If you are like me, you might worry about the performance of the destructuring swap, but don't be. Look at the timestamps. Modern JavaScript does better with destructuring than with temp variable swap because well-optimized engines perform better with expressive syntax than with clever hand-rolled code. That is it. Thank you very much and see you in the next one.